Hey everyone, it's Southern Belle Canto. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about one of my favorite tropes in romance, especially in historical romances. And this is the trope of, I'm not sure what to really call it, but I call it caught in a compromising position. So, during the historical period that most of these books are written, if women were caught in a compromising position, their reputation was either ruined or they'd be forced into a marriage, whether it was with someone they wanted or someone they didn't want to necessarily marry. So back in this time, basically before the 20th century, if women were caught in a compromised position, or if their virtue or virginity or whatever was taken into question, life over, reputation over, your choices are done. So I thought this was a really interesting trope, seeing as this doesn't necessarily exist in the modern world. It does in some cultures, and it does, with dealing with some religious organizations and things like that. But for the most part, especially in, modern third world countries, it's not really brought into question anymore. But ergo, I still really enjoy this trope. It can usually cause some funny moments in the books or some drama, which is always good too. So I have a stack of 4 books I'll talk about today that feature this trope. The first is The Viscount Who Loved Me. I always sing Carly Simon's song from the James Bond, The Spy Who Loved Me, when I think of this book. So this wasn't my favorite Bridgerton book, which is sad because I love Anthony, especially in the TV show. But in this book, Anthony is kind of brought into a compromising position with Kate, where, they were seen kind of in a compromising position. I think he kind of fell on top of her, so she's like splayed out on the floor, and people see it and like, whoa, you got to marry this girl. What'd you do? What didn't you do? Sort of thing. So that caused a fun situation, and, positions and virtues and things were compromised, so marriage had to happen. And that also was featured in The Duke and I, which I should have brought up. I didn't think about it till now. But it's also featured in the first book, The Duke and I, to the point where Anthony and Simon have a duel, like to the death, because of Daphne's nearly ruined reputation. But in here we have a nearly ruined reputation between Anthony and Kate. And it had a lot of drama, but also a lot of fun. I don't want to give too many spoilers away since the TV show comes out, I believe, in February. I wish it was coming out sooner, but I think it's like February, like Valentine's-ish on Netflix. But yeah, The Viscount Who Loved Me has a wonderful compromised position trope. Ooh, this one was a good one. This was How to Survive a Scandal by Samara Parish. This is one I got at Walmart, and I haven't seen a lot of people talk about it. This is like one of my favorite romances of 2021. I really like this story. So here again, we have another compromised situation. The heroine, Lady Amelia, is caught out riding during, I believe, a snowstorm, either a snowstorm or a rain thunderstorm. And her carriage is overturned, and she's sort of like left for dead. And fortunately for her, Benedict saves her life. I had to look at the name, sorry. But Benedict saves her life and rescues her from near death. He basically has to rip her clothes off. So she's basically in like a nightgown, or like a nightgown with aka undergarments, because her clothes are like soaked and snowed through, and she'll freeze to death if he keeps them on. So he basically has to like strip her down to her skivvies and gets the fire going, and I think he takes his shirt off, so it's like skin to skin warmth, and they're like, she's nearly dead, so they're not necessarily cuddling, but he's trying to keep her alive by like body warmth. So that was fun. And when she comes to, she's like, what in the world happened? She doesn't have amnesia. Well, kind of. It's like she doesn't remember the night because she nearly died from freezing to death, or from being so cold. And so she's not really sure what happened. Positions compromised, what happened, what didn't happen. And this has the perfect title, How to Survive a Scandal, because sadly for Amelia, she was on her way to meet this guy, sort of like the guy of her dreams, like the A-list guy of her, of the ton, the man she wanted to marry. And because of this scandal, he's like, bye, not interested, we gotta break up. So the man she thought she would marry, she's not able to, but does she fall in love with Benedict? Because, you know, caught in a compromised position, gotta wife up, gotta husband up. So this is another good one, How to Survive a Scandal by Samara. I'm going to go with Samara Parish. This is a really good one. It's one of my favorite of 2021. I love this trope. All right, my next one, another great one. This is another 5-star, and it's also going to be a motion picture. This is Mr. Malcolm's List by Suzanne Allain. This was such a good book. I saw this just popping up at Barnes & Nobles. I was like, I gotta get this. And so it was such a good book. This is a clean novel, aka no sex scenes. Its spice is a 0. Like, it's basically, it's not written in the style of Jane Austen, but if you like Jane Austen novels with no like innuendos or anything, this is good. It's clean. If you wanted like a teenager to read, or someone you don't want them to read like sexually explicit or even mildly sexualized scenes, this is a good one to start with for especially historical romances. I really like this story. So this has the same idea as a compromised situation, but I believe it's not Selena. What's her name? Selena's and her friend, not Jane. Oh no, I should have looked that up. Well, anyway, Selena is asked by her dear friend to sort of play a trick on Mr. Malcolm. He has this list of rules that he's looking for a woman to marry. Like, my ideal wife has to be this, 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 and this. And so somehow Selena's friend finds this list and she's like, we got to trick this man and we got to trick him good because this is sexist. This is, you know, BS. Like, we are not interested in this man's list. We have to come up with our own. So Julia, not Jane, Julia has a scheme to trick him, and in the process, it's got some compromised, you know, virtues going on. Like, what's going to happen? They were caught in a room alone, you know. Are we going to have a little Duke heir in 9 months? You never know. So if you're looking for a fun historical romance that's 100% clean, grandma friendly, I would recommend Mr. Malcolm's List. This is a great one. Ooh, this one also another 5-star read. I believe, well, these all are between like 4 and 5 stars. This one was a 5-star, and this is Say Yes to the Duke from the Wilds of Linlow Castle by Elosia James. These are my favorite books by Elosia James. I absolutely love Elosia James. She's the first like traditional historical romance author I ever read. Absolutely love her. She's my favorite. I'm definitely going to be buying her Christmas book when I get paid. So I have it on my Amazon list ready to check out. I'm just waiting a couple days before I purchase, but it is there. I'm getting it. But this is book 5 in the Wilds of Linlow Castle. And we have Viola as our heroine. And Viola is a wallflower. She is very shy, very naive. I think this is her 3rd or 4th coming out season. And like her first 2, she threw up like right away. She was so scared and nervous of like men and attention, you know, which I kind of get from, you know, I don't like attention. I don't like attention in like a sexualized manner. So I kind of understand that from Viola, and she threw up. She was so nervous. So I absolutely laughed out loud with a lot of this book. And early in the book, Viola is at a party and she's sneaking away because she's like, I gotta get out of here. I can't with all this. Can't with all the people. Can't with the party. Can't with the men. I gotta get out of here. So she like sneaks like through the kitchen and like through a servant's door to get sort of back to her room to read or whatever. And she sees this woman like trying to seduce a duke and like get caught on purpose. Well, Viola walks in on them and it's like, uh-oh, you know, I caught these 2 people. And the woman that Viola catches with this duke is actually purposefully trying to get caught. She wants to have someone catch them so that she can sort of make the duke marry her, so to protect her virtue, which is really interesting because in the other books, they're not purposely getting caught. And in the Say Yes to the Dress, there's a woman in the book purposely trying to be caught to get the Duke to wife her up, essentially. And so Viola sees that. She witnesses this sort of, I call it sexual harassment in a way. You know, this woman's forcing someone to marry her for whatever reasons, probably money, sadly. But, you know, that kind of triggers Viola. And at one point, she meets like the new parish priest, and she's like, I can marry him. A priest's wife won't have to go to balls. She won't have to go to dances. He's a nice guy. He's handsome. I'll marry this priest. Well, you know, another duke comes along, and, you know, all I'm saying is she might say yes to this duke, going by the title. Well, this was such a fun trope. I really do enjoy the compromise situation. Like, oh, what happened? Oh, my virtue. I think that's just such a fun trope in romances. So if you like this trope, leave a comment below. Also, if you know any other books that feature this trope, like I was talking about, The Duke and I by Julia Quinn from Bridgerton also features this trope. If you know any other books that feature this trope, leave them down below, because I always love this trope. I love to read more from it. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, as well as comment. I hope you have a wonderful day. And also, before I forget, don't forget to follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Southern Bel Canto. It's linked in my little bio below. But yeah, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye, everyone.